We're going to have our second speaker today in our second slot, even though we didn't have a number one slot, but it worked out perfect for you. With a speech entitled entitled Read This in a Comical Voice. Deadhead or Deadheader, you choose. Gerri Almand has been a Toastmaster since 2009, achieved her DTM in April 2013. Like many AA addicts, she can't seem to give up the ongoing support and uplifting that Toastmasters provide. Welcome. In addition to Toastmasters, Gerri is a passionate gardener. And now that she's an old retired geezer, I didn't say that, it's in the words. She spends a lot of time thinking about life and the meaning of what she does. I added some more. Today, Gerri presents Project 9 from the Competent Communication Manual, Persuade with Power. She hopes to persuade you to examine your daily lives a little more closely and rid yourself of activities that don't move you closer to your goals. Please welcome Gerri as she presents Deadhead or Deadheader, you choose. Gerri Almand.
I'm an old hippie from the 60s. I used to love the Grateful Dead. Now, followers of the Grateful Dead were known as Deadheads. I was not that hardcore. I'm also a gardener. Now, there's something in gardening called deadheading. It's when you take your little clippers and you go around and you snip off the flowers that are past their prime. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and our welcome guests, I believe there is a compelling lesson about life that can be extrapolated by comparing the dead heads with the dead headers. And today, I hope to persuade you to be a dead header as opposed to a dead head. Now, the Grateful Dead formed their band in California in 1965. It was a phenomenal success. I mean, there is a cult following to the Grateful Dead that is alive and thriving today, almost 50 years later. Now, was the Grateful Dead a phenomenal band from a musical perspective? Yeah. Were they creative and charismatic? No, probably. But I personally think their success and their cult following came from the message that they were giving. I think it was all about this promise that you really didn't have to grow up. That you could just kind of stay high, groove on the music, live in the moment, and tomorrow would take care of itself. Now, in contrast, the Deadheaders reflect a very, very different kind of belief about how the world works. The Deadheaders clearly believe that what you are doing today has a profound impact on what is going to happen tomorrow. A plant exerts a tremendous amount of energy producing a flower. It's a compelling biological process that ensures the continuation of the species in the wild. Of course, in our domestic gardens, we don't really use the seeds because we have other ways of propagating and increasing our collections. But when that flower begins going to seed, it is sapping strength from that plant and not allowing as much new growth and more flowers to come. So, when the gardener goes through and snips off the flowers, it is giving that plant that extra burst of energy to grow and produce both new leaves and stems, but more importantly, new flowers. Now, the master gardeners of Hillsborough County recommend that gardeners walk through their yards at least once a week, taking a visual kind of journey, examining, assessing, snipping off things that are getting in the way of more beauty and more growth. I would invite you to kind of metaphorically do the same things in your life, maybe on a daily basis. I mean, what are the things that you find yourselves doing that are taking up your time, energy, and resources that are preventing you from absolutely excelling or speeding up the process in reaching your own personal goals? Sometimes I think the education system has it all wrong. You have a kid who's very, very strong in, say, language skills, not so good in math. Focus is going to be on trying to remediate those math skills, bring them up. But what it means is that latent and perhaps incredible talent in the language area is not going to get nurtured, is not going to get really focused on so that that kid can be everything in the world he could. I think we all have things that get in the way of us being all that we can be. There's another saying in gardening: if you want to be known as a good gardener, find a few things that you grow really, really well. Grow lots of them. I think that applies to life too. Find the things you're good at. Find your passion. Don't let other things get in your way. I mean, maybe you're a neat freak. Maybe you are spending 30 minutes a day making sure your socks and underwear are lined up just right in your dresser drawers. Maybe you're one when you unload the dishwasher, all the spoons have to be nestled just so before they go into the silverware drawer. Maybe you are still sitting down a couple of times a month with an old-fashioned checkbook, a ballpoint pen, paper bills, and envelopes and stamps, when you could do it online with a couple of keystrokes and a third the amount of time. So I invite you to take, maybe in the beginning, even a daily walk through your life. Take a look at what you're doing and what kinds of things might be getting in the way and slowing down your growth towards your personal goals. But that said, I think there's absolutely nothing wrong along the way from listening to Grateful Dead while you're doing it.